Right.
Daily operation is really important. That means they break it down, the target from annually to be, monthly, weekly, and daily. That means we have to achieve daily target. If we cannot achieve daily target for each person, we cannot achieve the weekly target, and then we cannot achieve the whole year target. This is
Right.
something that changed my thinking way. That means if you want to achieve target something, you have to going down to the smallest part. That is, if you not achieve the smallest part, you can achieve the bigger part.
And hello, everybody. Welcome back to Edric, Poon and Company, the podcast where anybody can inspire everybody. I'm Edric, your host, and this week we've got a very, very special guest. He's a huge name in Thailand, all right? And he's got an even longer name in my podcast. He is Mr. Pawoot Pom Pongvitayapanu. I hope I didn't butcher that, but he'll correct me in a little bit. He is an online entrepreneur, an e-commerce and online media business leader. All right, he's currently the CEO and founder of Talat.com, the first and biggest e-commerce service in Thailand since 1998. So he's continued his expansion and founded Infrastructure Group in 2013. So as you know, there's a lot of knowledge here that we can get. Now, before we move forward, again, big thank you for watching, listening, subscribing, and supporting. If there's a topic that you'd really like for our podcast to really go into, feel free to just drop me an email, epicpodcasting@gmail.com, or feel free to just even comment on our YouTube page. All right, with that, let's get on to the podcast. We're finally doing this.
Yes,
Fantastic.
yes.
Yeah, you're a really, really busy man. But I have to say, your Facebook is always entertaining.
Thank
Always
you.
lots of
A
stories
lot
with
of
you, your family. And please, can you explain to me exactly right? Why do you have a navel as your as your Facebook picture?
yeah. I try to think because a lot of people using like a very good picture, right? Very good, your picture in your Facebook profile, right? But for
Right.
me, no, because my DNA, I'm think different. That means the way that I'm doing mostly always different. Okay. Mm.
Fantastic. No wonder you always wanted to do something else. But I really have to say, this is something that's very, very special to, or at least what I've seen. Your personal branding is super amazing because the way that you promote yourself, the way you promote your business, and not only that, everybody gets to know Pom for who he is, rather than thinking that, oh, Pom, I've been a DJ before, I've written for newspapers before, I've done event coverage, I'm a keynote speaker, I'm an entrepreneur. But people don't really say that. People know who Pom is. That's the greatest thing, and I really admire you for that. That's for sure.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
do. I
and
do too many things. Too many things. Too much. Yeah. Mm.
actually, that's an amazing thing, and this is why
Yeah.
I think that this podcast is really going to be really fun,
Yep.
because where we really wanted to go into, right, with this whole thing is starting from the beginning. In that very brief introduction that I did earlier on, you started out in 1999 as a hobby, right,
Yeah.
for your entrepreneurship journey with
Yep.
very little cash outlay. And essentially, you were doing something like a second-hand business, but it's online.
Secondhand.com. The first
Yeah.
my first .com business. Yeah. That
So,
I'm doing. Yep.
how in the world did you even, first off, right, getting into the .com and being in Thailand at the time, would it be possible for you to kind of just give us a brief, overview of what the market was like in Thailand in 1999 and how the .com was kind of not really that existent at the time?
I think in that time in 1999 is a .com era, right?
Mm,
Like a lot of internet business popping up. Netscape coming, a lot of .com company. In the stock market, a lot of people make money from the stock market by bringing the .com company to listing. And this is phenomenon is come to South Asia as well. I think in Singapore, in Thailand, in Malaysia, in many countries. But Thailand, we really early stage of the .com business. That means
mm,
it's very few company, it's very few people doing a .com business in that time. But for me, I'm seeing that. I see Yahoo, right? Yahoo.com is
Yeah.
coming. Then, and in Thailand, in that year, 1997 or 99, 1998, we have a Tom Yam Goong crisis. That means economic
Mm.
crisis in Thailand.
Tom
Then
Yum Goong
everything crashed,
crisis.
right? Everything crashed. Actually, in that year, I'm graduate from architecture. Actually, I'm graduate from architecture. I'm not related to any business, right?
Mm.
And when I'm studying architecture, I'm like we do the way that we studying, the way that we living. We are like a hippie, long hair, using secondhand stuff. Yeah, and that is inspire me. That's why I'm starting the first business with the classified website. That means we
Mm.
allow the people to sell, post anything that they want in our website. It's named thaisecondhand.com. We mean we open anyone. You can post anything about your stuff in online. In that year, the e-commerce, the name of e-commerce is not coming yet. I didn't know
Mm.
that e-commerce. Yeah. And it's gonna, the thing that I'm doing is quite different because in that time, a lot of portal in Thailand, they are, portal one, portal A, or portal two, portal B. But for thing that I'm doing like classify. It's the first classify in Thailand. That's why when I'm thinking thing that doing thing is different, people start realize, wow, it's new. And then I become like the news and media start, spotting me. They're asking me, they interview me. That my website become like a growing more and more, but no money. It's just like a new business that people, wow, .com in Thailand, like that. In, After working with Thai secondhand for a few years, I got starting like raising money from the venture
Mm.
capital. Then it took about 2 years. I got money from investor. Mm. And then after I got money, company start growing up from classified business. Then it's a C2C business, like consumer to
Mm-hmm.
consumer. That means we open for them to they can sell to each other. And then C2C is quite small. Then I think that why we're not stepping to the B2B2C. Then I'm creating the website name talat.com. Talat is
Mm.
mean like a market in Thai, like a
Market. Mm.
market.com in Thai. Talat.com is a place that you can open your store. You can sell anything. We have platform, we have payment, we have traffic, things like that is 20 years ago. And after we open that is something like it's new in Thailand too. It's growing. A lot of people want to do business in online. A lot of people want to do the e-commerce. They come into Talat.com. That's why I'm grow up business so fast in that time.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that you see that the key for me is differentiation. I'm not following the other people. I'm do things that differently because in that time e-commerce is quite new, and I'm the first guy doing this kind of business in Thailand. Mhm. But
Mm.
after operating Talat.com around 10 years, business growing so good. Um, in 2016, Rakuten, one of the largest e-commerce from Japan, they came to Thailand and they want to expand the business outside of Japan to outside of the world. Thailand is the
Right.
second country that they're expanding. Then we talking each together, and finally Rakuten acquired my company. Mm.
Oh, okay.
I I'm sell the majority of the share to them, but I'm still own the share, but I'm minority shareholder. Okay,
Mm. Okay.
and we
Okay.
working together. I'm working with Rakuten around 6 years, and we growing a lot of e-commerce in Thailand. We change a lot of e-commerce landscape, a lot of things in Thailand. But after we working that, e-commerce competition in South Asian is changed. You see that we have Alibaba is coming, right?
Yep.
You have Lazada, they have Shopee. A lot of people jumping to the South Asia. That means everything changed so fast in terms of e-commerce. And then Rakuten cannot fighting with the big guy. Although they are big in Japan, but they are not big in South Asia. When the new guys coming, then Rakuten cannot fighting. Then they decided to shut down all the business in South Asia. Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, shut down. Then I talking to them. Then can I buy back? Then I talked to them and I bought back the company. and restructure all the company and bring the company back to business. And after 2 years, sales the company to the big conglomerate in Thailand. The company is TCC Group, the company who own the Chang Beer, the company who own Fraser Property, okay, and a lot of business in Thailand. And now I'm working with them for many years. That means I'm starting from the entrepreneur, starting everything from zero, and then I'm sales the company, I'm buying back, and I'm sales again. Yeah. And after I'm sales the company in the first time with Rakuten, I have money. Then I start my second track of my working life. That means I'm start investing to auto startup. That is something that largely that I'm keep investing about nearly 6 to 7 years now. I have 32 company right now that I'm investing. That means the
Now it's
true track
32.
32. Okay.
Wow.
This year I'm invest about 3 company. That is something that starting from zero, okay, become entrepreneur, become like a professional worker and investor, and a lot of things that I'm doing within 22 and 23 years already. Yeah.
Right. And then when you sold the company the first time to Rakuten, right?
Yep.
After that, when you decided to buy it back, curious to understand what changes did they make that you had to basically turn the whole thing back around just to start from ground zero again?
When the company working, when we working to Rakuten, we change everything. We try to we call it the integration to the Japanese culture. The way that we work, it totally changed. And I think it's really good. I learned a lot when working with Rakuten because um, in Japanese culture, something like we have a daily morning meeting. Every morning we have meeting, and we have daily reporting. We have to submit the daily reporting to for my team, to the manager to me, and then we submit data information. And the data in Rakuten is transparency. That means you can see every data from every team. You can see P&L, profit and loss. You can see everything in the company. That is really opened my eyes that, wow, this is the way that you operating the company. The Rakuten let everyone in the company see what's going on in the company, and clear direction, because they have a weekly meeting. That means weekly meeting the whole world. That means everyone in the company, in the whole world, every country. We call the Asakai, morning Asakai. That means everyone, we open the video meeting, and then we join the meeting, get the same communication from the CEO, see the all data from the every country. We moving together. That is really changing my attitude about and my working style. I'm becoming like a micromanagement KPI, because they're using KPI, daily reporting. Everything can turn to be number, you know, and that this way, then I operating the company like this way after I'm lifting from Rakuten.
All these are very, very interesting tools that you had picked up along the way. And did you also then integrate them when you took it back?
Yep. Something is too much. I'm not I'm leave it, okay. But most of the thing I'm still using today. Something like Asakai. I'm still have a now we change it. We call town hall. I mean, every week
Yes,
we
town
have a
halls.
town hall to all members to join. And KPI I'm still using, but it's make it all automatically. Okay, like a normally they have to do the manually, but now we change it to automatically. And micromanagement I'm also still using in some team that we want to squeezing a performance. We do the micromanagement. And a lot of things like sharing data. I'm still share. If you asking my team in many company, they know how much we generating sale this month, how much we generating profit, and how much everything we sharing, because it's really important to driving the company or drive the business. That means every member need to know what's going on, which direction we're going to go in that. Okay, where we are, and what is command, what is direction, from the CEO. That is really important. That we try to make sure that everyone, we are in the same page. Okay.
Right. I love that because the thing is that the vision and the direction must be so clear that
Yes.
everybody's on board, and that's when they can effectively work. I think there are many companies out there, right, that because they don't have the clarity of vision from top down or whether or not it's from middle management, everything gets muddied and very, very messy. And then even when, let's say, for example, for performance, you were mentioning that you do micromanage to squeeze every little bit out of them, which is necessary at times. I do think so. At the same time, if the direction is not strong, micromanagement will just completely break the team.
And the KPI is really good. That thing I learned a lot
Mm.
from Japan. Because when we have a goal that this year we want to achieve like 10 million like that, but sometimes we didn't know that how to make it, right? We just, many companies just, hey, this year we're gonna, target 10 million, but how you can go there, how you can make it happen, what is execution, what is strategy? Some company didn't have, they just have number, you know
Mm.
but when I'm working with marketing, everything clearly, from 10 million it break down to 5, this team got 2, and then everything to break down in detail. From the company target, it break down to the department target and or team target. From team target, it break down to personal target. That means everyone in the company, we are involved in our small target related to the big target. If you're missing your own target, it's going to be your team target are going to missing too. And the team target is missing is going to make it like your company target missing. That means we can see relationship between, you know, how the small action in each person impact to the, to the company target. But this way that you're doing, we're not monitoring every week, but you do it daily.
Right.
Daily operation is really important. That means they break it down, the target from annually to be, monthly, weekly, and daily. That means we have to achieve daily target. If we cannot achieve daily target for each person, we cannot achieve the weekly target, and then we cannot achieve the whole year target. This is
Right.
something that changed my thinking way. That means if you want to achieve target something, you have to going down to the smallest part. That is, if you not achieve the smallest part, you can achieve the bigger part.
Mm. Agreed. Agreed. At the same time,
Mhm.
I would say that this particular method is for e-commerce in itself.
Yep. Yes,
Okay.
that is from
Yeah.
e-commerce. Because
Yeah.
when
Because different
we
industries, very hard to do this.
yes, because everything in e-commerce is can measurement, it can trackable. That means if you
Mm.
want sell 10 million, in terms of e-commerce, you can break it down. How much traffic you have to generating, how much
Mm.
conversion you have, how much average order basket you have. You have to control everything every day. And sometimes we break it down to every hour. This hour we have to generate 2 million traffic to the site. If you cannot generating 2 million with this conversion, you cannot achieve sale in this hour. That means everything is number. Okay.
Yeah. That's wow. That sounds extremely pressurizing
Yes.
because I don't like numbers.
Yes.
But
The
that.
CEO from Japan, they can see that my smallest team member, this guy have this problem. He can seeing that
Oh.
because
Wow.
all the
Okay.
data is really structured data. You know, that means
Yeah.
when something missing, when something wrong, we can see that what's going on. Why we cannot make the target? We cannot achieve the target. That is really beauty thing for the micromanagement and KPI management.
Right. You're absolutely right. It's very interesting. Now, just to sidetrack a little bit, how did you, from the mind of architecture, only knowing architecture, to the point whereby now you're reading up and understanding that this is the level that you must be at, this is the kind of traction that you must have, this is the kind of click through that you must have from your marketing, from your sales, your order baskets. Where did you start getting all this information, and was this a very natural progression that you said, I need to learn, I must learn?
Mm.
And who also is out there that can tell me? Because in Thailand, you were one of the first movers. So I don't expect that anybody in Thailand will be able to give you that information.
Mm, mm, mm. But when I'm working in e-commerce in the first stage, actually, I'm not really care about the number. I'm just
Oh,
creating good website, good traffic, Actually, I'm not really care about conversion rate. Okay, but after working with Rakuten, they teach me to how to, I have to realize this number. But the good thing to studying in terms of architecture, because architect is something like art and engineer. They're combining together.
Mm.
Even study and art, I'm not gonna care about the number. I'm just imagination, creativity like that. But the engineer is very rigid, right? Number, number, number. But when
Yep.
we talk about architecture, well, I'm in between. That means I have to create something different. But that thing must be possible and it can be real. That's why the way that I'm doing, the way that I'm working, I try to make things different. If someone doing like this, I will do different. I don't want to follow them. I want to creating new rules and new space. But it possible. It have to become true too. That is the beauty of the thing that I'm learning from architecture. Mhm, mhm.
Ah, okay.
And
And I'm sure
and
that you
when,
must
when
have
I
taken
have
the
this.
design thinking as well.
Yeah. And the architecture really focus to the customer. That means the people going to living in the house, the customer, walking to the space like that. That means it's really customer oriented,
Mm.
right? The same thing, the business. We have to have a customer oriented mind. You know, that is something that is why when I'm creating the business, creating the website, doing thing, I have to thinking about the customer. That is the design thinking way that I'm using for a long time.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I love the idea that we're always putting the entire customer journey first and able to break down every step of the way.
Mhm.
Um, you've always been able to put this forward, and somehow or other in the mice industry, these 2 years have been very, very tough
Yeah.
with COVID-19 and all this. So no events from Singapore, pretty much zero. But we tried to do digital events.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, we cannot adopt the old method when we do digital events. Can you imagine there's no such thing as putting on your VR goggles and actually going for an exhibition, still shaking hands with people? The tactile experience is lost, your sensory, it's just different on the senses, right? But one of the things is that I remember that there was this debate of should we wait for physical event or should we do virtual events?
Mm.
But here's the thing, virtual events have to be done very well. And this design thinking approach could have been used, from the start to understand the entire customer journey of
Yeah.
how difficult it is. I've got this very, very simple mindset. Nobody told me this stat or anything, but for me, it's like how long I stay in the website is how easily or the less clicks that I must take. If it takes me more than 6 clicks to get to somewhere that I want to go, I'm out.
Mm.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
stay in that website.
Mm.
Yeah.
That is really
So do
important.
you
That is
do
really
you do you have
important.
a rule of thumb as well when you actually design or at least think through this process now?
Um, lose. Okay, mostly creating something first thing from experience.
Mm.
But after that, now today, a lot of tools, a lot of data is gonna help uh, help us to design things. Um, a lot of tools is really helpful because when we do the online business long time ago, 10, 20 years ago, it's no tools like that. But now today, we can do like A/B testing. We can do like a click tracking. We can do the heat mapping like that. Everything, all the data is helping me to try to optimize in terms of the work of business better and better. And that means the data is very important for rule for me. Something that you can do it. You can do whatever you want, but you need tools to tracking the thing that you're doing. You have to learning from the other industry. You have to
Mm.
learning from the other people, and then you creating like your ground data, and before you jump up to the next step. After you jump, after you stepping each step, you have to keep data and learning and optimizing to making better and better. Mhm.
Right.
That is
Uh,
my
I
rules.
I love the lateral thinking aspect of things, learning from other industries. Do you happen to have one particular situation or memory, of a time whereby you went, oh, this particular industry is doing this. I can apply it to my business right now. Do you
Yeah,
have one that's very, very,
oh, a lot.
yeah, prominent in your mind?
That is reason that why I have 32 company. because when I'm doing the e-commerce, I see e-commerce. Oh my God, logistics coming. Oh, payment is good. A lot of payment, a lot of transactions coming. Why we not have a payment company? And a lot of orders coming, a lot of shipping. But why shipping so so poor? Then when I see that this data from e-commerce, then I start a company. Like now we have a payment gateway company. It's named Pay Solution that we connect all the payment in Thailand. That means you just one plug in, you can use all the payment. Because I'm seeing that e-commerce gonna be growing and big in the next 10 years. And it's right, okay. In terms of logistic thing too, that people need to ship the product, but didn't have to connect to each logistic company is painful. Why didn't have like a logistic gateway? Then I starting company named shippop.com. It's shipping gateway company. And now it's booming. All the company that I'm investing is booming because I'm learning things from e-commerce. And I see that, e-commerce, they need to do the online marketing. Then I'm creating online agency company. And now we have about 100 people in the company. We do the online campaign. We do like a online strategy, online production, because a lot of opportunity that I'm learning from the e-commerce is expanding to the other business too. Now I'm investing in terms of in the influencer company, online influencer company. You see that most of the thing that I see the opportunity in the online e-commerce, and now it can expanding, it can splitting to the small company, or it can help me to creating the vision that hey, I should invest in that company or in that company. And when I start invest in many company, all the data in each company in each industry come to me. Then when nowadays you can ask me about a payment industry, you can ask me about the logistic industry, ask me about the online marketing industry, fulfillment. Okay, you can ask me, or you can ask me about the um, anything about digital, because I have too many company, and all company I have data, all the data coming to me every week, every day, every month, huge data in each industry that related. Then I'm creating something from that data to new opportunity, to new opportunity. That's why I'm keep investing a lot. That is something that I see the opportunity from that data. Mm.
I
Mm.
see. So that was your main motivation to start investing, so that you can
Mm.
get the data and not. So okay, there are a couple of reasons why people invest, right? One is that hey, I want to support, or I really believe in this what company what it can do, or it can bring me extreme amount of revenue, right? We're always hoping for the next unicorn, but this is a brand new perspective that you're actually so-called buying or investing into the data that you're going to get from
Yeah,
an industry that you wanted to learn from, or did you see a particular niche that you think that you can exploit?
I see the opportunity, but some of opportunity is no one doing yet. That's why I'm creating that company to supporting that opportunity. Or sometimes I see that maybe young teenager, they creating the business that I'm seeing that wow, it's gonna coming, it's in my mind. Then rather than to build up by my own, I better to invest in them and supporting them to be like a another company that I'm involved, keep involved in that.
Mm.
And that is the thing, because e-commerce in Thailand is quite, although in South Asia it's quite new. We talk about 10 years ago, it's quite new. That's why if you starting first, the first mover strategy is very important. If you start first, that means you have chance to become number one, right? You start first and you keep doing, and let everyone knowing that you are the first player in the market in that area, and you keep doing, keep promoting, keep do marketing, because someone, they are, maybe they are first player, they are first mover, but no one know, because they are working in a small hole, no one knowing that this guy working in this business, right? That means no meaning. But if you
Right.
are doing that, you let everyone know to do the PR, to do the marketing, you working with partner, and then from small dot or small company, you will become growing and growing, because industry growing, opportunity is growing. That is the way. That's why many companies that invest many years ago, now today they become like a big company. Something like one company that I'm invest is about construction. It's named build.com. Build.com is the first construction platform in Thailand, in South Asia. Actually, they are the winner of in Echelon, the startup event in Singapore. And I see that, wow, what the hell they doing about construction technology is not related in that it's about 9 years ago. But I see that in the next 10 years they're going to be the first mover, they're going to be the leader. Then I decided to invest in them, and now today they become number one. Everyone in Thailand, or now they expand to many countries, when they're thinking about the construction and technology, their company is popping up. Okay, that is one of a company that sample of the company that I'm investing.
And based on what you're saying already, there's a couple of things that I want to go into. Number one is, of course, how do you actually start lining up your investments, in the sense that you've already made it clear that, okay, it's because this is an opportunity to go in. But
Yeah.
are there also other factors that you look into before you actually say, okay, I will invest in you, and this is the way it's going to go?
The first thing that I'm invest, that I think that the first stage of my life when I'm working, I want to do everything by myself. I want to do everything because I'm not believe in anyone. Then I'm build up the company. I set up the company. When I work in Rakuten, I'm manage the online agency company with my wife. I'm doing like a big data company about the social listening data by myself, and I'm running like a three or four company in that the same time. I found that unbelievable. I cannot hold every company in the same time. Then I realized that I cannot doing that. Then I start talking with my competitor. Hey, why are we not merging together? Merging? Because we are do the same thing, and you are good in technology, I'm good in marketing. Why are we not merging? Then finally we are merging together, and then I give the company to them. But I'm not majority, but I'm minority. But I can still convey my dream that I want to running the business, but the other people running for me. That means I have more time to focus my own business. I mean, then I think, wow, that is really good strategy. Rather than running by yourself, working with other people and let them running the company. You are minority, because if you are majority, you have to responsible, right? But if you're minority, you give the majority to the other guys. They're gonna running company for you. That's why I changed my mind. Then I start working with other, working with the computer, become and merging together. And then when I see new business that I cannot doing because I have no time. I start thinking that it's better running by myself. Why I'm not creating, someone to run the business that I want to do it. Something like a shippop.com. Nowadays, now last year we're generating about like 15 million US dollar in revenue. We profit a lot, and now we have nearly 100 people in the company. But back to like 5 to 6 years ago, I have an idea that, wow, logistics is big opportunity. I want to do it. I want to do I have a payment gateway. I think we should have a shipping gateway. I want to do it, but I don't have time. Then I post in the Facebook that, hey, I have an idea. I have money. I have strategy. I can supporting you, but the thing that I don't have, I have time. I have no time. If anyone want to join me, just just chat me. Just send a message to me that you want to do the business with me. And then a lot of people come, send a message to me. I start filtering, talking. Finally, I got one guy. He's 24 years old, and he is engineer coding. He's a programmer. And then I give him this idea that I want to creating like the logistic gateway company. Can you doing that? He said, okay, let's do it. I am like a mentorship. I'm like a give them the direction. Hey, you have to do business plan. You have to do the computer analysis. You have to do that like that. And then he do everything for me. He like hands for me. For me, I'm like a brain. We're working together about a few months, and when the business plan is solid and finished, I see that, wow, it's good. And the number showing that if we have the opportunity, why we're not starting? Then we turn on, and he become like a CEO. I am like a director, and I'm supporting him to running the business. From that days until to today, it's around nearly 6 years. the company growing so fast. From 2 people, now it become like a nearly 100 people. The sales from zero now it's growing to nearly 15 million. That is thing that changed my mind that I cannot do everything by myself. Then I changed my mind, that I changed my attitude that rather do by myself, I have to supporting other people with my experience, with my networking, a lot of things that I have, supporting them, them grow. When they grow, I'm growing too.
I love that. You have the complete story of how you started out first, trying to do everything ourselves in that self or by yourself, right? Which it seems to be like every entrepreneur's practice, that I'm so used to rolling up my sleeves and getting it done by myself. I don't really need anybody else. And then you reach a point of, I think I'm going to hire someone, I'm going to meet someone. But yours
Mm.
was, okay, we've built the company to this level already. There are other things we can accomplish. We'll invest. But then you started to decide to mentor as well. Now, were there things during your mentorship, I would say, as you continue to mentor, do you see shades of yourself in other people whereby this is a mistake I made 20 years ago, right? So
Oh,
don't do that again.
yes, a lot, because when I'm coach the most of the team, many team that I'm investing, and seeing that something that is the way that I'm thinking that 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Mm,
And I can telling them that, okay, you should not doing that because I'm done it before, it failed. Okay. And when I'm start coaching one company, two company, and three company, and it become experience that I'm learning from each one too. And now I think I'm coaching more than 100 company. And then I'm start creating. I use my experience to creating the business template. That means if you're a new company, you come and this is the template that you should doing that. Okay, P&L, profit and loss. Okay, this business plan. This is the way that you have to set the target. You have to break down the target KPI. The one thing that I told you before. I'm creating like a
mm.
template that if you want to start business, use this template. Do salary, cost, revenue, marketing, traffic generating, cost of marketing, everything in one file. And then I'm coaching them easier. And after I'm coaching them, I'm ask them to coming back, and we have a bi-weekly meeting or monthly meeting to revisit the number that we working together.
Mm.
Then that number is very important. Target is very important. That where we want to go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So when are you going to be opening up MIT in Thailand? Huh? Management Institute of Thailand.
Yeah. I'm actually doing that too. I'm working with
Mm,
university. I have my own course. It's a name Digital Ed Fusion, or DAF. Every
mm.
year, I open the course about 150 entrepreneurs coming to my class. We learning about 3 to 4 months about digital, about the KPI, about number, everything. And not only learning, ask them to do the real case study. They have to sales online. They have to do the marketing online. I bring the real business for them that they can learn, that they can do it, the real thing. They have to sales and they have to generate real money. That they have to understand. Oh, this is an online business. I have it already. In terms of education, I have many business education, or also have it too. Mhm.
I thought you were only lecturing or going in there as a participation kind of thing, whereby you just wanted to give back. I had no idea that it was actually a business in itself, DEF. Every year I see the videos coming up and it looks more like a party than it is a course.
Like that, like that. Actually, I'm planning to open the. Uh, I went to Singapore, and I see Singapore.
Mm,
They have a management school, right? School of
yes.
management, school of project management, like that. PM,
Mm,
like that. Okay. And I see that.
yeah.
Why not have a e-business school? I have a dream that I want to creating the e-business school, that the school that teaching the entrepreneur or teaching the executive to learning about the e-business. That's why it's finally it become like the course that I'm working with university to come up with the short course for the entrepreneur.
Right. Are you going to be doing, is it purely in Thai at this point in time?
Equally in time. Okay, very
Mm,
good
okay.
class. Yeah, now we have a 6 year already that we working. We creating more than I think it's 700, nearly 1,000 of the entrepreneur from this
Wow.
class. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, back to the whole thing about investing, and now you're teaching. there are so many things that you've done. How in the world did you also end up being a radio DJ and also writing articles for the newspapers? Well, how
Yeah, when
how
you have a
did
lot
all
of
this come
knowledge.
across?
Yeah, when you have a lot of knowledge, when you do a lot of things, and when
Mm,
you things news, because I'm do a lot of things that I never do it before. Okay,
right,
did e-commerce, did business, this project, and I do a lot of I'm like thing to challenge me. When we do a lot of things new, then you learn a lot. You accumulate all your experience,
right.
and then when people come to me that hey, can you write some article in the newspaper, in the magazine? I said yes, I love to share because I'm thinking that the more you share, the more you earn, right? That's why I'm the speaker. I'm speaker more than 15 or 20 years. I'm teaching all over country. I'm going to nearly every province of Thailand and teaching a lot. And radio host, then they come to me that hey, because I've read a lot of things. I know a lot of people. That's why they asked me to do the DJ talking about entrepreneur, about the e-commerce, about the technology. I said okay, and now it's already 6 year already that I have my program in the top Bangkok business radio. Okay,
Right.
that is very good.
Right.
I
And
love to
here
learn
you are
new.
also, yeah, and here
Yeah,
you are also now entering the
yeah, yeah,
streaming
yeah.
zone
Mhm.
as well. How long have you been doing it now? You are running like live stream talks
Yes,
and
yes,
sessions of case studies, entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, I don't read Thai. I can't read it, but I do kind of guess that you're doing a lot of case studies and a lot of teaching sessions online as
yes.
well, and it's free. That's the great thing.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so wonderful that you're actually putting it out there. Now, at what point, this is, I think it's a very interesting question that at what point, right, do you reach a certain level of what you, of course, define as success in the financial area, and all of a sudden you start going, I'm okay to give back now.
Yeah, I think in terms of financial area, it depends
Yeah.
on yourself, how much money
Mm-hmm.
you want. It
Yep.
depends on you how you define the rich. How much
Yep.
when people, I want to get rich and how
But how
much?
much is rich, right?
How much, right?
Yep.
Some people okay have a 1 million rich. Some
Mm.
people no, I have 10 million. It depends. For me, I'm okay. I'm okay. I have a money. I'm creating. I'm self company. I'm invest company, and now the most many companies start. I can exit and earn money that too. I'm okay in terms of financial. I have many business, right? But money is not bring creating your waking up every day. I think this thing is more challenge. That means when you do the new thing and you didn't know that the new thing is gonna going which way, and the new thing that no one do it before. That is really
Right.
challenge for me. Yeah,
Right.
really challenge for me.
How do you keep feeling that? Because there's this old thing, right? They say that once you reach a certain level of comfort, why do you want to feel uncomfortable again, right? So
Mm.
you want to feel uncomfortable. You wake up every morning probably thinking, okay, what's in it for me today that I haven't done before? So
Because
where are you getting this?
I try to do the new thing. That is most important. If you waking
Mm,
up and you do the same thing like a routine, I have to do that. I'm start getting bored. I cannot doing that. Then when I'm waking up and said, hey, I have to do the same thing. I'm starting. Why we not do the different way? Why we not doing that? Why we not doing this? I always thinking that sometimes we have the result, but the way that the process that we're gonna creating the result might be different. Mm.
mm. And
Yeah, that's sometimes that's
you know,
why I
mm,
have a lot of partner. Yeah.
right, right. And out
Mm.
of all this, right, when you keep looking for something new, do you actively search for it, or do you find that it just naturally comes to you that, oh, this is looks interesting, and I'll just go do it?
Yeah, I think the most of thing that the most important thing that a lot of people can think, a lot of people can have an idea, but who's gonna be action? Who's gonna be execution? That is most important, right? Maybe I'm just watching the video of Facebook. I just see Facebook. Wow, this idea is good. Sometimes it's popping, small pop up. Okay,
Mm,
but I'm grab it. I'm do it. and I do it immediately, right? Most of people, oh, this is good, but they keep in their head, but they never do it. For me, when I have it, I do it, and I do it small testing, and it's good. I'm starting bring my team to join. Mm. Then
Mm.
every time you have to see the leader need to see the opportunity and no hesitating, no thinking too much. That is going to be good or bad. It's not going to be losing money. You just thinking that you just do it, okay, and you want to see that, okay, you something like I have my dream. I want to have my own book. I one day, that is 15 years ago, I'm walking to the bookstore. Said, "Wow, a lot of book. I want to have my own book. It's my dream." And after that, in a few years, I have a book. นะครับ I wrote my own book about 3 to 4 books, and I'm becoming like a publisher. I have more than 30 to 40 book title about the online
Mm.
marketing. Because when I have name, just do it. And because when you do e-commerce, you do the business, a lot of things is coming, a lot of new technology is coming, but you have to embrace it and try it, right?
Mm.
Try the new thing, because every day they have mobile phone, they have data, they have Bluetooth. You can bring and add on and enhancing the new technology or new thing that you're learning to your own business, and then your business gonna change. Your business gonna change.
Right. Yeah. No, I really like that because we're always thinking about the next big thing, but nobody really wants to go into the small little things that everybody overlooks, and those I think that's where the real money
Yes.
is.
Yes.
When we develop something new, from all the years that you've been doing business, right? And this is something I also wanted to dwell into. When you go into a meeting, right, with your invested companies, do you go in there saying that or feeling that I own this company, or is it that
Mm.
this person owns it, and your decisions are to be respected, and I should not overstep?
Mm-mm. Because the way that I'm working as an investor, I try to convince them.
Mm.
And the first day that I'm investing in the company, the next day I ask them to creating the business plan. I
Mm.
ask them to creating like a data and dashboard. I try to convince them with data. Oh,
Ah.
why sales not good? I said, oh, because of you seeing that the data, because you have a low traffic, right? Your conversion is low. You should do. Could I use my own experience too, but to convincing them, you need like information and data to convincing them too. Sometimes I'm not really force them to doing that. Sometimes I'm allow them to make it mistake. Many times. Like a chip up in the first year that we doing, the CEO, they have their own idea. They think this
Mm.
is good. I said, no, it's not good. But if you want to do it, just do it, okay? And he did it, and it failed. We're losing times about 3 to 4 months. But anyway, he learning that, okay, wow, that is not good to doing that. And wow, that is Pom telling before, right? That he's starting believe in me that, hey, you should believe in me, right? But do not believe in me or trust in me 100%. You have your own, instinct or your own knowledge to add on what the thing that I'm give it to them.
Mm, okay.
Mm.
And are there certain values that, in terms of maybe your own leadership, that not just about mentoring for the business, but as a CEO, CFO, CTO, CIO, or whichever it is in a leadership position, are there things that you also share with, these invested companies of how they can adopt it so that their teams will work as efficiently as possible?
Because I have many company, I have a team, I have a networking. Sometimes to convincing them, it's not only I'm not the guy who force them. The convincing is very important. Sometimes I know that I cannot convince them. I ask other people to convince them, because the networking is very important. Sometimes I didn't know, I have no idea. Then I ask other people who already knowing this one to asking them and bring them to talking together. And hey, why we're not asking this guy? And then this guy will give the knowledge to us, and then we come back. Wow, this is good. That is the way that I try to convincing that learning together, failing together, and Data is very important. Uh, and transparency is very important. Frank is very important. When you're working with partner, we have to respect each other. That is
Right.
that is really important too, mm,
Right.
to running the business. Sometimes when I have a team and he's so young and he want to running the company in a different way. That is something. It's not good way. Sometimes he want to creating like a shortcut,
Mm.
and that way is not really right way to doing that. I'm very I'm telling them that the ethic is very important to do the business. If you're doing the shortcut this way, and soon other people going to do the same thing with you.
Mm.
That is the thing that I'm really try to convincing them to do the thing that I'm trying to doing that, but not force them, convince them, use other people to convince them. Sometimes I know that when I speak something like this, he not really believe in me, but I bring the other people that okay, he's really good in this way, in this thing, to convincing him more, to make him believe and be walking in the same direction. But sometimes it's not happen because he convincing me and then I found that I'm wrong. It sometimes happen like that too. Yeah.
Mm. I see. I see. And so when you actually do tell them about all of this, right? One of the biggest challenges that I've also seen is like what you mentioned, being honest, being transparent, being
Yes.
frank with each other. It does get very painful at times, but what are the things that, these painful lessons have actually drawn out from them? Are there times like that you realize that, okay, I really need to be very, very tough on these guys so that they can learn from this experience?
It depends because I'm coaching to many leader.
Mm.
Some of them is very open. um, they accept what I'm give it to them, but some of them they're not open. And if I try to give more information, try to coach them, try to telling them, and some of them is fail. I cannot coach them. I try hard to coach. I try hard to give the direction to them. uh, if I try hard and I feeling that they're not accepted, I'm stopping because no
Mm.
reason to keep pushing. I try to keep pushing, but if you keep pushing for the whole year, it's quite long time, a whole year, and they not listen, then I say that okay, you have your own. I am I'm gonna change to become like a silent investor because I'm no meaning. They're not trusting me, right? and let's see that okay how's it going. And some of them coming back and hey, they found that the way that they're doing is wrong. Why they are coming back and ask me what is other strategy that they should doing that they start more open. We have to let them fail, we have to let them down, and then we can coming back and teach them how they can growing. Yeah. Mm,
Mm, fantastic. And,
mm,
one of the things that I also do get questions about sometimes is like, hey, how am I supposed to open up an e-commerce business today? How am I supposed to, with this pandemic and all that? So, I would love to also get your ideas in this area. Like you started this a long time ago already
mm.
with that experience. I think that the situation back then or the landscape back then had a certain way of doing business. But if
Yep.
let's say, for example, I would ask you, hey, Pom, if let's say, for example, Tarat.com had never been built, and with the knowledge that you have today, start today, what would you do very differently, or what would be the whole movement to get this e-commerce business up and running and to where it is?
If you talk about Tala.com, I think the way that I'm running the business 20 years ago and as of today, totally different.
Hmm.
Because in that time, the business growing like organically, start small, growing like that. But as of today, no, we cannot do it like that. We have to coming up with a fresh idea, differentiation idea, the sexy business model, raising money, growing very fast. Try to, I don't know, if you have business model is good, that means you can make profit and you're growing with the along with the make profit. That is really good model. But if you cannot grow your profit, but you can growing your market size, you can growing your business, you can growing the member, the traffic, everything. That is another way to growing the business too. But you have to burning money. That's why investor is very important. Then if I'm starting the Tata.com today, I'm gonna do different way. I'm gonna make the business differently. No one else doing, and I'm gonna raising money, and I'm gonna do the business thinking regionally and globally, not starting from locally. The same thing that I'm starting 20 years ago. And the team is very important. That means I'm gonna looking for very good talent guys to working with me. Because in that 20 years ago, I'm working alone. I have some friends, but they are not really talented in that time. But anyway, the team is very important. Speed is very important. Money is very important to running the business. But if you are missing something, like if you have not enough money, then you have to creating the way that you are very unique. You have to go into very vertical, really niche, and you can growing in the niche market too. That means when you're growing in the niche market, it's less competition, especially in the niche market that no one do before. First mover is still important for today, right? But with this strategy to run the business as of today, different because capital is very important, right? Why Lazada came and booming? Why Shopee came and booming? Because they're using money, and as of today, a lot of technology is helping too. Because the thing that you can do it today, maybe 20 years you cannot really pushing the advertising that direct to the right customer. But as of today, a lot of tools, a lot of data, a lot of people can helping you doing that. That means running the business today is more challenge. It's gonna faster. It's gonna be burning more money, but in terms of the impact, it's gonna be wider comparing to the 20 years ago. Because 20 years ago, the internet user in Thailand or South Asia, that is too small. But as of today, when you do anything, you do it right, and in terms of to the way that you can reach the customer, maybe in the one day you can reach 1 million of customers within one day. That means the whole landscape is different. And in 20 years ago, you have to do everything by yourself. But as of today, no need. You can outsourcing. You can have a partner. You can have a lot of the business jigsaw can helping you to do business faster.
Okay. Thanks so much for that, Pom.
Yep.
I really appreciate all the information, the sharing, the wisdom. Now, for all our guests, there's always this one thing that we always do at the end of every show, and that is called the EPIC questionnaire. It is a rapid fire 10 question list so that all our listeners and audience, of course, can also get to know you in the quickest time possible. Not that they haven't already watched, an hour of this that we're into, but let's get on with the EPIC questionnaire. Pom, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. So, first question, one word that you love.
Only one word, right?
One word.
Different.
One word that you dislike.
It's hard. I'm not hard. Most of the thing that people think it's too hard. No, that is very scary wording. Yeah.
If you could have a conversation with one person, fictional, non-fictional, or dead or alive, who would that be?
Have you ever seen the series of the USA American series? It's named 24. You heard
Yes,
about 24?
Jack Bauer.
Jack Bauer, yeah. I like one guy. He the president in that David Palmer. David Palmer, one of the president. I really like him. Yeah, he's the one that changed my thinking way to my attitude from that.
Would you want to talk to him as the actor, or would you want to talk to him as the character?
Character.
Ah, interesting. Okay. And what do you say to yourself in the mirror first thing in the morning?
What are you gonna do today? Too many things.
Okay, that works. Name one superpower that you would like to have.
time control.
Hmm.
Mm.
Favorite
Mm.
dish to eat?
Pork basil, กะเพราหมู
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
favorite. I
famous in
love that.
Thailand. Yes.
Oh, I could eat that every day. I really, hot rice is great.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Favorite travel spot or the next travel spot that you like to go to with your family?
Camping. Forest. In Bangkok, in Thailand, a lot of place. I just found
Oh,
myself that I like camping. Yeah. Mm.
really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Peaceful. Really peaceful. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. But the challenge is that the as long as the kids haven't been raised as city folk, right? Like
Yes.
I remember when I went to Bangkok the last time around, we were there on holiday. And I think it was Hat Yai or was it Bangkok? Anyway, because my son is not so he felt it was very different, and so everybody was calling him a city boy.
Uh,
It's so
you should,
sad.
you should bring him out more often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, bring him out more. Something in the arts that you've always wanted to do, but you have yet to do so.
Mm. Um, I want to be farmer.
You wanted to be a farmer.
Yes. When I'm
Oh,
50 years old, that is in a few years, I'm gonna be farmer. I'm already planted.
okay. Everything
Mm.
organic gardens.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm having aphid problems with my vegetables actually. I grow them out on my balcony.
Okay.
Okay, what does retirement look like to you? That was actually the next question.
Yeah, the farmer. I'm gonna be, going to countryside and be the good citizen and help use my knowledge and wisdom to helping the local people. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Okay, so that they can also get into the businesses and
Yes.
make better financial decisions for themselves and be in a better
Yeah. Use
financial
technology
situation.
to help them, help the business, help the local business growing. Yeah.
Oh, it's
With the
fantastic.
local people. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. That is really, really wonderful. Now, last question. It is, how do you want to be remembered? What is your legacy?
Um, I think the thing that I'm doing, it might be the legacy because the business I'm starting, the thing that I'm doing in many years ago, I'm founded in many association. I'm founded many things. I'm do a lot of things for the Thailand internet business, internet society a lot, and I hope them they can. I don't want them to remember me, but I don't want. I want them to keep doing what the thing that I'm doing, association work, a lot of project, a lot of things that the technology that I'm creating to helping the country. Mhm.
All right.
Remember
Thank you
my
so
work, not
much.
remember my name. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
I love that. Remember my
Mhm.
work. Don't remember my name.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much again for joining us on this week's episode of the Epic Podcast. Again, do remember to like, comment, and subscribe on Epic Podcasting. We're available on YouTube, and audio versions are available on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, as well as anywhere else that you can get podcasts. And remember, if you are looking to get more information or, in fact, even get into Thailand, the Thai E-commerce Association, or anything else related to Thailand and e-commerce, feel free to please look up this man, Pawoot Pom Pongvitayapanu. All right, CEO and founder of Tara.com and 32 other businesses. All right. So, Pom, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience before we go off?
No, thank you to listening. And the one thing that I think you might find something, from this conversation, but the most important when you found that it's good to doing that, just do it and do it now. Don't leave it. Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, all right. So, with
Mhm.
that, all right, that ends this week's episode of the podcast. We'll see you again next week. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Mhm.